say what the time is, everything.
Okay, let me just try to share my screen again.
All right, great. This is the mayor. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up a little.
Can you hear me okay? All right, maybe I won't use is that better?
Yes.
Actually, no, I can't hear. Is that better?
Much better.
Okay. This is the mayor-manager meeting on September 22nd, and it's noon. And maybe somebody can say who's in the room, because I'm on my phone, so I can't see everybody. Shawn,
Sure.
Could you list off who's in the room?
We have Jackie McKinnon, Othniel Sierra, Stephanie Carlisle, Linda Olson, and Shawn Lewis.
Great. So I'm going to trust your screens that you're all watching them, because I unfortunately had to go home and get a power cord for my laptop. So I am not watching.
No problem. We'll start with the September 28th study session. So we only have 2 items for that meeting, it looks like. Adoption of the building and fire code amendments. And so we'll be going over what the local amendments are, what Denver's amendments are, and some highlights of the national changes to the International Building and Fire Codes. And then we'll have the August 2020 financial review. So right now we have presentation of 20 minutes for our building and fire code. And then the financial review, the presentation is 10 minutes. So how long would you like for us to schedule for discussion on those?
I don't know. What do you think? 15 minutes?
Did you say 1-5 or 5-0?
1-5. Is it controversial?
No, there's not much that's controversial in it this year, particularly if you guys are prone to adopt the same amendments that have passed. For instance, exempting residential sprinkler systems. There are a number of local amendments that we'll be discussing with you, but and then this could also be the time, and it's not in our presentation because it needs to probably be driven by council, but this would also be the time that you all would bring up if you're interested in us pursuing the green building code, which could be an optional code that we could adopt, after the fact, after we get these adopted, but you could direct us to start working on that.
Oh, my hunch is that people will want to do that. So do we need maybe 30 minutes total? Mm-hmm. Othniel, what do you think?
I was thinking that these seem to always go a little bit longer. So 30 minutes sounds fine to me.
For discussion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good. And then the financial review is not bad. So I don't anticipate a lot of discussion unless you all do.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's not bad? You mean it's good news?
Meaning it's not that negative. I think we're actually up slightly from last year.
Oh my gosh.
10 minutes, 10-minute discussion.
Yeah, I think that's what we've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
10?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And then moving on to October 5th, we have I'm not sure why this says Mayor Linda Olson, Innovative Housing Concepts, but it's a presentation from Innovative Housing Concepts by Director Jerry Graber and Lindsay, and I can't say her last name, but they'll be presenting on their accomplishments and their goals for next year and things that they want to work on. And I also asked them to let us know if there are ways that we as a city could partner better with them. Does that sound all right, Mayor?
It does. Yeah, so how much time did you say?
That one we have a 15-minute presentation.
I think there'll be lots of questions.
I did tell, in my one-on-ones, I've told a couple of council members that they're coming. I know Councilmember Russell has a couple of questions that she's going to ask. So,
Yeah, I expect 30 to 45 minutes on it. What do you think, Nathaniel? We haven't had them in for a long time, and this is a new council, some of them. And some of them might not understand what the role is of the Housing Authority.
Yeah, so you're thinking 30 minutes discussion or 45 minutes discussion?
I wonder if we should set aside 45, and then if it goes lower. I mean, these are the only things we have so far. Is that what you're saying too?
no, unfortunately, we have another pretty beefy item, which is an
Big
update, Downtown Development Authority update.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, let's say 30 minutes then. I'm going to try and keep it to that.
I think that'll be good. And then for the DDA presentation, that's another 30-minute-er. And I think that they're going to be updating you guys on, in particular, some of the efforts to get the word out about that.
Okay.
And if you would like shorter than 30 minutes on that, maybe 20, we can make that change.
So 30 minutes for them to present,
Yes.
and then a conversation. I'd love to see them try and present something in 20 minutes. Really.
I think that's good.
I tell them to challenge themselves.
Yeah, so we'll change that to 20 minutes. And then, Stephanie, is this next item under recognition or?
Yeah, it's under recognition. This is just under recognition tab.
Okay. So before we go to that, the presentation's 20 minutes now. What do you want for discussion on the DDA?
Uh,
I don't really think they're asking.
Linda Olson.
Is now exiting.
Uh-oh, that's unfortunate.
We lost Linda.
So, Nathaniel, sounds like you're in charge.
No, I'm on. I just came on via the computer and it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's right.
So I don't think that they're going to be asking for direction. I think it's more of an update. So it's possible that your discussion might not be as long.
So I don't know, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
That they're going to be asking for council to be out there advocating for the DDA.
Yeah, I'm reading those notes. That's what it looks like.
Are we allowed to do that?
No, not really. It's really tricky how to do that in order to be in compliance with the FCPA. And I think that, so if that's kind of the intent of this, we'll have to really we'll have to add some other information in there in regards to how to do that without crossing any boundaries.
That's a great point, Stephanie. Can you just make sure that you're working with Dan and Allison on that?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty clear. So I'm a little surprised that they're asking us. I hope they aren't depending on us to do this because
Agreed. We've been really clear.
Pass on its own. It needs to they need to get people out there and it needs to pass because the businesses are engaged and have been informed enough to be advocating for it. But
we'll get you those guidelines.
I know that I'm supportive and everybody right on council is. But
yes. We'll work together to see what that would look like.
Okay, so moving on to the regular session for that night, October 5th still, Proclamation for Frame Day Art and Good in Inglewood honorees. This was the program that we started during COVID to just recognize people who are doing nice things in their neighborhoods. So
That's great. So how will that be done?
How will what be done?
Well, will Brian Hart come to the meeting, and then will we have people come to the meeting as well that are being honored, or is it just more of a verbal?
Yeah, so I think Chris will introduce, Chris or one of his staff members will introduce the folks who have been honored, and I think we're calling out Brian Hart in particular because he created plaques for all of them. And so I think we just want to recognize him, and I'm sure maybe he'll show a picture on screen of the plaque, and hopefully Brian can come on. And I think you in the past have said, would you like to say a few words maybe?
Yeah. I'm glad we're honoring him because he doesn't, I mean, we always say, Framed Art did this, but it's always focused on whoever we're giving him to. So that's great.
Yeah. And then we have under ordinances, we have first reading of the budget ordinance, also first reading of that floodplain ordinance that we tabled last night. We also will have the building and fire code first reading, and then a motion to award a contract with Atkins Engineering for a US 285 and Broadway project. And then a motion to award a contract for security camera provision and installation. And a motion for approval of a change order with TerraCare Associates for Eve Day Porter and Landscaping Services. And that's it. That's quite a few.
And so we looked back at how we did the building and fire code amendments the last time in 2017, and they did all go on consent because you had a study session. So I wasn't sure if you wanted to keep all 9 of those under consent.
Well, so we're talking about them the week before, right?
Correct, yes.
So why don't we just, could we make a note, that could we get direction from council that night to put them on consent?
Okay.
It's a good idea.
Then they've agreed to it and we'll just do it. I don't remember how we got it on consent last year. Maybe we just put it on, everybody agreed, but.
And we did double check the minutes and they did all pass under consent. So we just weren't sure how we did it last time.
Yeah, let's just, if you can make a little note to remind me to ask, are you all okay with this going on consent?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
No problem.
Okay.
All right. Any of these other items you'd like to see under consent? Any of these award of contracts or change order?
I know we have done the security camera purchase and installation before, so I don't know if we consider that routine, but we try to add a few of those a year. So
I don't have trouble putting them on consent. I think change orders, when they have caused a little bit of trouble, but this isn't.
in this case, the contract is going to exceed the authorized amount, so.
Oh, I would probably put it on regular then.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other 2 on regular, just the one for the security camera on consent?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's within budget. It's what we planned, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. Moving on to October 12th, we have a couple of study session items, update of Inglewood ethics policy, and city center redevelopment financial update.
All right. The ethics thing is going to take a while.
Also, did you see this US
sorry.
85? Yeah, sorry.
The PEL on US 85, the Planning and Environmental Linkages Study. I don't think that, 15 minutes. I don't think that'll have much discussion though.
That's the Dr. Cog one, right? That's extra.
Yes, CDOT, maybe it is Dr. Cog also.
Yeah, it might be a combination of it.
That
Yeah.
one's come up several times, hasn't it, in the past?
There are different parts of it.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's federal funds, you have to do a lot of study and analysis in advance, so.
Yeah, Maria will explain it to us all, because I sure can't. Well, we can put times in on this in the future, can't we?
Yeah, we don't have to do that today. Okay, moving on to the next item, we have model traffic code. This is a bill for an ordinance to adopt the 2020 model traffic code. And, oh, well, we're already into October 19th. Sorry, I didn't see the heading of the date. So October 19th, 2020, first item is that first reading of the model traffic code adoption. We also have second reading of the budget ordinance, second reading of the floodplain regulation, the resolution in support of ballot measures for the lodger's tax, the same thing for the broadband exemption, exempting ourselves from the broadband regulations, also supporting tax, lodger's tax is on here twice.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that.
No worries. And then supporting the ballot measure for the, oh, both of those are repeats.
They just must have gotten duplicate in there. So
No.
we have a meeting with our outside attorney in regards to this. So we should have more information of if these are coming forward or not, but it sounds like they are.
All right.
Great. So right now it's not too lengthy of an agenda. And then October 26th study session, we have the financial review for September and review utility billing software vendor selection. So we're trying to finalize that. This is the one that will allow us to go to monthly billing and have a lot more kind of real-time data for customers to manage their usage.
Is this just the staff are going to present who you're looking at? Because we don't usually make decisions about that, right?
Well, this one, the dollar amount is going to be to the level that you are going to have to vote on it.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty expensive system.
Right, but choosing who it is, we won't be making that choice, right? Or will we? Because based on different...
We're going to review the different options on vendors, but tell you the one that we're considering and why. This
Okay.
one will be more important because we are going with, I think, the most expensive one.
Okay.
But it's the only one that met all of our qualifications in the RFQ, RFP.
All right. That makes sense for why we'd go over the different options like that. Yep.
Moving on to November 2nd. This is what I get for trying to eat lunch while holding a meeting. November 2nd, we have an easement agreement with Colorado Conservation Board for Big Dry Creek Diversion Project. So that's for the permanent construction, long-term maintenance of these facilities. And this is the one you guys talked about a couple of years ago, I think. And then we've got a motion to approve the building software contract. And the contractor there is listed as Cogsdale. And that's all for the 2nd. November 9th, we have Title 7, Chapter 7, Public Aid, Mutual Aid of Emergency Response. How we're approaching emergency management and mutual aid with other communities. And then we have the board and commission interviews. Okay, so.
Yeah. So these are two really big items on the same night.
Right.
Yep.
And you guys usually just do board and commissions as a solo item, right?
Yes. Yes. So we talked about whether we're going to do a separate meeting.
Yeah, Stephanie, if you can ask whoever the sponsor is of the emergency response one, if we can move that.
Okay.
Yes, and then keep that one closed, that meeting, for just.
So move this study session. That one is Allison. So I'm not sure if she's on the call, or I can definitely reach out and see if that one can be moved to a different study session date.
It looks like she is on the call now. Allison, would that be okay with you? I don't see her coming off of mute, but we'll.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can,
I can follow up on that.
We got time.
And then, Mayor, the only other.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to do 2 meetings at once. What was the question you just needed me to answer?
If the
November 9th.
aid and emergency response item could be moved to a different meeting, we're trying to keep board and commission interviews as the only item on November 9th.
Absolutely. It's totally flexible.
Oh, great.
Great,
And then,
yep.
Mayor, we only have one other item before I do want to just briefly mention the survey on study session topics, but we do have a just the October financial review on November 23rd. And right now that's the only other thing kind of planned besides a point. I'm literally breathing rice. I have to stop eating. I'm just starving. We're appointing the boarding commissions on December 7th. So, but I did want to let you know we did the survey on this study session topics and really use the strategic plan as a way to consider additional topics. So we'll be sending those out, I think, tomorrow, if that's okay.
I missed what you said again. What? Strategic plan?
Oh, sorry. There we go. So you may remember that you asked us to poll the council on future study session topics.
Right. Right.
In addition to that poll, which we did include, we also gave you the strategic plan initiatives that are not fully yet underway that you may have interest in having a study session on.
Okay.
And so we've got a list of, I think, 6 items that at least 3 council members said that they think we should be talking about. And so we're going to send those survey results out tomorrow.
Great. We didn't all respond to it, did we?
Unfortunately, we only got 4 responses on that.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't weigh in. I want to hear what they want to do because I have some ideas, but.
Oh, great.
But we'll see. Do you still want me to do mine?
Yeah, we can send that back out.
So some reason, some things are popping up in my other email. It's just so odd from the city, and we're not sure why. I'm wondering where that poll went. Can you resend it to me?
Yes, we can do that.
I've got like 10 doodle polls that ended up in my DU, and we can't figure out why because it wasn't sent to my DU, and I don't have anything transferring to my DU.
Oh,
So I don't remember getting the link for it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll resend that. Yeah, and I think that's everything.
Super. Okay. And then do you have council requests from last night you want clarity on, or? I know there were 2 in particular council requests that I heard, and I don't actually remember what Member Russell's was. But I know that Member Stone asked how many months does a renter get for CARES money?
Right.
But I don't know the one before that I just wrote down RR and then not the request. I can't hear anybody, so if I just went offline, let me know.
No, you're fine. I'm just trying to get this rice out of my throat. There's a grant, the rental assistance program. We're just going to detail where we are on that. I did misstate that we were using our portion of the 3.2 million CARES funding. It's actually coming out of CDBG money that the county receives. So we are not using our 3.2 for that program to fund that program. But we'll get all of those details lined out. The other one was fees, impact fees within the DDA. Are those allowed, and what would those look like?
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to make Councilmember Stone's question about the cost of a fully loaded police officer into the council request. And then I've also got your question about marijuana tax revenue going to homelessness or other social services. How that would work and if that's permissible. I think it is. And then police reform. I think that's it. I've got another note here, but I'm not sure what it means. Oh, supplemental appropriations, but that's not a council request. Just making a note that we may need to do supplementals after we finish up the police reform task force and as our plan comes together for homelessness. So.
Right. Those are all, you covered what I remember. Tim, do you have any?
Shawn, did you mention the ones that Member Stone and I had during the public hearing on the budget?
Maria took down the ones from the public hearing,
Right.
although I think the fully loaded police officer. What was yours on that?
Well, mine was specifically around impact fees and if they could be used within a DDA, or if they revert to the city under a DDA, and what that whole process was. And then
Oh yeah, I did.
just an extension with Cushing Park.
Yes, I got that one.
Oh, is that what you attributed to Member Russell?
I don't think when I said it a few moments ago, I don't think I attributed it to anyone, but there was a council request on fees within the DDA. Can we collect impact fees? Are they allowed? What can they go towards, et cetera?
So maybe that was what Member Russell also asked, but I just want to make sure we didn't miss because I do know she asked something, but I didn't write it down, and so.
You know what? I'll follow up with her. That's a good point. I know Maria was taking notes on that also.
Okay, great. All right, is that it?
I believe so.
Anybody have anything else for the meetings? If not, this ends the mayor manager meeting. It's now 12:27.
Very nice.
Everybody.
Have a good afternoon, everyone.
All right, everybody, have a good day. Bye.